Hello, Lisa. Hello, Andrea.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we have a regressive hypnosis session for you, Lisa, with Andrea's telepathic support. Lisa, please tell us your reference points.
In May 2018, me and my friend M were attacked on the street for no reason. I was injured but not robbed. This made me feel angry and afraid because it was nearby my home and now I don't feel safe anymore. I also had a surgery after I broke my ankle and I was laid up in bed and had a difficult time to walk for more than 2 months. I always see negative part of things, like the empty half of the glass. I want to keep everything under control, and if I lose control, then I feel abandoned. I'm afraid of people's judgment towards me. I have difficulty in letting people or things go. I would like to verify my relationship with M because I am not open for any other relationship. Also, I would like to verify my relationship with my friend Maha. I would like to invite my mother in this session, and I feel lost after my dad died 13 years ago.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Now you can mute your microphone. Okay, now we can start. Andrea, I will count now from 5 to 1, and you will slowly relax. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I will count from 1 to 3, and as I get to 3, you'll connect mentally with Lisa, who is here on Skype with us. 1, 2, 3.
She's in a environment in which there is like a rain of flowers, uh, pink and red flowers, and she feels them falling on her skin. And she said that she feels her arms and hands very, very heavy, like there is I know stones, iron inside her hand. I don't know why this rain of flowers.
Mm-hmm. Does she perceive you?
Yes, sure, she does.
Does she know why we are here today?
Hmm, surprisingly, no. She said, not really.
Okay. Identify her.
Yes, it's her.
Mm-hmm. Does she remember me?
She says, I remember you both, but like we met a long, long time ago, not recently. That's how I feel that we met a long time ago.
Mhm. How does she feel now?
Heavy, heavy in body, light in mind.
Mhm.
So physically she feels dense, heavy, and mentally she feels light.
So not only her arms and her hands.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Mostly in hands, but in general, all body she feels it heavy.
Mhm. Um, what about those pink red flowers? What does she know about?
She says, my favorite colors for flowers from childhood. These flowers and these colors represent for her joy, peace, protection, and good energy.
Mhm.
So she got herself, I think, not on purpose, not she's not aware of this, but she got herself in an environment where she feels good.
Mhm. Okay. Um, what emotions does she feel in her body?
Anxiety and sorrow, sadness. She feels them here in the chest.
Mhm.
She says a lot of sadness, but I don't know the reason.
She remember since when she feel that sadness? Does she remember?
Her answer was since my father left,
Mhm.
and since I was left on earth, like like somebody brought her on earth and left her here.
Mm.
So I don't think she refers at her father's death, this father, but something mm,
Mhm.
more vast.
Mm. Okay. Does she remember that she called for help? That she asked for this session?
Yes, but she continues to give this impression like she didn't call for help recently, but from another time,
Okay.
another point.
So she remember us in another
Mm,
point
mm.
long time ago. Mhm. Does she want um, to um, does she allow us to work with her and for her?
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Is she ready to go there now in that point where she asked for help?
She's afraid to get out of this scene, but she
Environment.
will do it. She's determined to get out of here and face whatever bad things she can discover on the
Mhm.
way.
Okay, let's go there and see what she remembers. See that point where she asked for help.
Once she gets out of this place, she says that um, at each step or wherever she looks around, there are enemies or somebody or something that stops her, like an obstacle or an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So she can't go further. Something stops her right away.
Mm-hmm. What do you perceive, Andrea? What do you see?
For now, just entities not defined. I see just shadows mostly and
Mm-hmm.
feel their presence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ask Lisa if she remember about those entities, about those presences.
She says they are souls, mm,
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
whom I left behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of them were hurt by me, others hurt me instead.
Mm-hmm.
I chose at some point to leave them all behind me, but it seems like they come back for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems that nothing can stay behind me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
More specific, she doesn't know who they are.
Okay. Let's scan her energetic body and see um, in her body if there are other emotion uh, of low frequencies other than anxiety and sadness,
Anger
anger. Mm-hmm.
in her mm, brain somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she doesn't relate it to something mentally, but like something it's inside her brain, and there is this energy.
Mm-hmm. We'll look what's there. Let's see what other low frequency emotions we can see.
Um, she feels unprotected,
Mm-hmm.
insecure, let's say, but more like she can't protect herself from others. Mm, so afraid for her own life.
She's afraid for her own life.
Mm,
Where is where is this fear in
in
her
her
body?
heart,
Mm-hmm.
and bones
Mm-hmm.
all over the body, but somehow in the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Does she feel guilty?
no.
Okay. Um, Now I would like her to collect all those low frequency emotions. First, the fear she has in her heart and in the bones. Collect this energy with her energetic hands and
Sorry to
make.
stop
Mhm,
you a bit because instead of using her own just intention and energetic hands, let's say, she let it looks like a machine that is drilling,
Mm-hmm.
doing like this from outside inside her and extracting like a vacuum system this energy.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't do this from inside outside, but she lets instead s- some kind of machine, I would
Mm-hmm.
call it,
Mm-hmm.
to extract it. So I don't know if this is okay.
Mm-hmm. Uh, have a look at that machine from who
I don't know if what to compare it to describe it, but it's a machine like in some kind of let's say hospital or something.
mm-hmm. Is she
It's like,
connected
yeah,
to
she's connected to some kind of machines. This is just a part of the whole, let's say, machinery system.
okay. Does she remember about this device that start to drill in her body and
Mhm.
collect that fear?
She says, I chose many times to ignore it. I know it, but it didn't feel like it was hurting me or doing me some kind of damage. So I didn't put much attention and I didn't question it much. I preferred to ignore it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since when she is connected to that device?
Since she was dropped on Earth.
Dropped. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I asked her if she was dropped like in her first experience in a physical body in her first life. She said no, it was more between
Between
experiences between bodies, physical bodies.
mhm. Okay. Tell me.
She has a feeling, or maybe she starts to remember that all this story with being dropped, being left, how
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
she said, on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
it's something in between experiences, between lives, like a shift, like the pattern of her lives changed at some point, and from then she was connected to this machine, to whatever entities have control over this machine and over her. So she says maybe we'll go there at that point. Maybe we'll try to connect there together.
Mm-hmm.
That way.
Um, okay. Tell me if you, that is interesting. Tell me if there is more fear in her body now, in her energetical body.
Yes, there is, but I think her fear, it comes to me this way to describe it. It's different on many levels. I mean, like there are more levels of fear,
Mm-hmm.
fear of, um, about her own life to, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
die
Mm-hmm.
or suffer.
Okay.
Fear of losing control, fear of losing the people she loves.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and what it was extracted, it was just a small amount of this energy because
Mhm.
she didn't control this process of
Okay.
eliminating, but it was controlled by this machine.
Mhm, mhm,
So yes, that is still in her body.
mhm. Let's have a scan of her body and see.
The
Is it?
weird the
Mhm,
weird thing is that now when I try to scan her or see her,
mhm,
um, there are like more mirrors, like she's in a room of mirrors,
mhm,
and the reflection from one side interferes and it's very bright, and I can't see, and she can't see herself either in the other side. I don't know how to explain. So all this environment now is very bright, and
Is this made specially for you to not be able to see?
yeah, she or we have to get her somehow out of this. I think she's in in part of that device, how you
Mhm,
called it,
mhm, mhm,
and I see her there. But if I get closer to analyze her,
mhm,
then I get in all this of
mhm,
destructive.
mhm. Okay, let me talk with her.
Mhm.
Okay, Andrea. Okay, connect with her. Lisa,
Yes,
what do you feel there?
strange.
Strange. Okay.
And I don't like this situation
Okay, you don't like the situations. Do you?
where they play with me and with us. They
Mm,
are they are making fun on their we are fools in their
mhm,
perception. They think that they can play us around.
mhm. Who gave them the authorization to have control your over
I
you?
know that you think that it was me, and it's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm not sure.
Mhm. Do you want? Tell
I
me.
think that the situation was not like this in the beginning,
Mhm,
but it was more like evolving in this direction.
mhm. Okay. Uh, Tell me the effect of this device in your life as Lisa.
As much as I want to get this answer, to get this information, I can't. Um, I see myself, and I know myself forced to go in a sick body. I mean, in that child, that baby, gets sick already from his mother's farm. I mean,
Mhm,
the same me, but it's like my mind, my own mind, emotions, essence, spirit, soul, it's being sent in a body that I didn't choose.
So you were forced
Yeah,
to go in that body.
and that body was already sick, was mm, developing in sickness, to say so. No,
Mm-hmm.
to explain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to fight for my life, even from day one after I was born. I had some lungs complications and I was about to die. And I didn't, in my heart, I didn't want to die because I really wanted to be with that mother and that father. I didn't want to wait another maybe 100 years until I could get the chance to be with them in in 3D, in
Mm-hmm.
in the same life. So I was scared that I could uh, lose my life. I could die and not be with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to make to compromise half of my um, mental and emotional bodies. This comes to me as something sure, certain, but I don't really know I can't explain this information to myself or to you.
So,
But to stay in life, to remain alive, then in first days,
mm-hmm.
I had to compromise half of my mental, uh, let's say, informations and
Mm-hmm.
programs, and half of my emotional history. But
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who did force you to choose that body?
mm, on first look, they seem to be humanoids, but I think that behind that, let's say, interface
Mm-hmm.
mask, there there is a, there are entities with multiple DNA. So some entities like that I can't put in one species. There are
Mm-hmm.
multiple.
Okay. Was that your first experience on Earth, or you had?
No, no, I
Mm-hmm.
had others before
Mm-hmm.
because I knew my parents. I knew them well.
Mm-hmm.
So my wish was to be with them, but not in that body.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I remember how this process of, let's say, maybe choosing a body or mm, all your emotions, mental programs, memories attached to a body. Mm, I don't think it's randomly, of course. Uh, I think this was the problem that I was forced to come in this body, in
Mm-hmm.
like somebody used this energetic body before and left it damaged, and
Mm-hmm.
I was pushed to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened with the soul that was there before.
How many years you lived in that body?
16.
16.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. How did you die?
I don't know what disease is this, but I see like a dense black energy in my throat, down down to my chest, and because of that energy or disease, I died.
Mm.
I stayed in hospital many months before dying.
Uh, which period was? Which year was on Earth when he died?
Ni- 1937.
Okay.
When I died, yeah.
Okay. Um, Tell me, Lisa, let's see what's happened and how you were dropped on Earth.
I see human-shaped entities,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're humanoids,
Mm-hmm.
that are preparing this transition. Um, that baby was not supposed to be born, that soul. I mean, he will have died in my mother's womb around 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then is when this transition was made by these humanoids between me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was complicated, I think, for these entities to do was to somehow change or the gender, because he was supposed to be a boy, and I was born a girl. Mm, they used our mm, I don't know how to explain this. Let's say that my emotions are on a piece of paper, all, I don't know, draw there,
Mm-hmm.
and these souls also, and they something somehow merged
Mm-hmm.
by some machines or technology, merged our emotional and mental bodies, and he, this soul um, disappeared from reincarnation system, left this system, and I was continuing my reincarnation cycle,
Mm-hmm.
but carrying half of his memories, of course, um, mm, let's say, energetic body. How do you call it? Mark?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Prince.
Print.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, for example, in Earth years, all this process of transition, or I don't know how to explain. So in real time on Earth, it was like for one day,
Mm-hmm.
but there for them it was a whole process of few years. I don't know, 12 years, let's say, compared with our time, how we measure time here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Tell me, if you look at your experiences on Earth, what was the pattern you can see in your lives on Earth? Let's
Like
see.
my
Mhm.
experience on how I feel them, how I understand them at this point are my experience on Earth are split in two. Before
Okay.
this
This.
transition that this humanoids made with my
Mhm. Mhm.
emotions and programs, mental
Mhm.
programs,
Oh,
before and after.
okay, Lisa. Okay. Uh, let's remember how was your experiences, how were your experiences on Earth before this transition, before that life, when you were dropped on Earth. Do you remember your experiences before that?
I know that I was
Mhm,
a healer on many levels, um, like medicine doctor,
mhm,
uh, soul healer, like some kind of shamanism, I think,
mhm,
uh, or psychologist for
mhm.
mind. I think I don't exaggerate when I say that all my experiences were with this mission of healing, either way, either um, the mind, the body, or the soul.
Okay. When did you came first on Earth?
Almost 1 million years ago. But then I didn't have what body to heal because we didn't have bodies like today. So it was more like healing the soul or healing the energetic body. Uh, yeah, healing or clean it or balance the energies in
Mhm.
that
Okay.
energetic bodies. Those.
When did you come for the first time in contact with those humanoids?
Mm, I place it in time like 3,000 years ago from now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Okay.
say 1000 before Christ.
Mm-hmm. Let's go in that life. Let's go there.
I took over the energies of a child that I was treating. That child, he was around 4. Uh, he had some kind of behavior like epilepsy, and I was struck. But he also had moments, like let's say hours or some time, days when he was a completely normal
Mm-hmm.
person, child. So I was trying to understand what was the cause, what was causing or starting up that energy, that or what thoughts. Mm, so I try to do something like you do, like connect mentally or and also energetically with him. And then when I opened my mind and heart to whatever he was having, I opened my channels completely. And because I was so empathic
Empathic. Mm-hmm.
with him and in general with children, uh, that entity or that energy completely got into me. But that entity couldn't behave like inside me, let's say, inside my
Mm-hmm.
mind and body, like he was doing in
Mm-hmm.
this child's. Um, I know that for more than 1 year, I was meeting this child like 3 times per week and allowing this energy to get into me. And why I was doing this, it was because I wanted to understand it. Who was this entity or this energy? And so observe it, understand it, feel it, piece by piece, not all at once. So I could find like some kind of explanation or cure for this child to be cured, to be healed.
So it was a study for you. It was research for you.
Yeah, but it was not just mentally. I mean, I really wanted to help that child and
Mm-hmm.
with others too. But this was, let's say, a special case, special patient, because it was so rare. So I didn't understand it, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to understand it. I lost control of my. I lost patience. I lost control of my. Mm, let's say, what's the word? I I didn't keep a balance between trying to do my, let's say, healer work and getting my letting my ego um, take control of over all this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, um, I let control. I uh,
You lose control.
I lost control over this entity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, which area, which country that experience was?
It was somewhere in China. Um, I think that after a while, after more than 1 year, this entity started to threaten me that will take control all over my mental,
Mm-hmm. Mental body. Mm-hmm.
and that I will not be able anymore to do my work and help people.
Were you a
Um,
woman or a man?
a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that by mistake, obviously, this was not my intention. In some kind of trance of, I don't know how to call it, not really hypnosis, something else.
Like a
I,
meditation or?
yeah, or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I hurt this boy. I I know that I hurt him, but I don't know. I can't connect to that uh, exact moment or what I did to him. But I know for sure that I hurt him a lot,
How did you do that?
emotionally and
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Mm-hmm. You were
Mm,
already interfered by that
it's like
entity.
I wanted to take control of over this entity, but instead the child was a victim of my action, of my the
Mm-hmm.
way I managed the energies. between me and him, between me and this energy, this entity.
Mm-hmm,
Entity.
mm-hmm. And what's happened?
Mm. The boy was in coma like for 4 days. Uh, and after that he died.
Okay. How was your life after that?
The strange thing is that I feel like I died in the same day with him, but I didn't commit suicide, so I don't know how I died.
Let's
Again, I
let's look closer. Let's see how you died.
I can't access this information, and it's something that annoys me a lot because I feel like this memory was taken from me on purpose.
Mm. Um, Let me with Andrea. Andrea,
Yes.
okay. Look at that moment when she died.
So I hear the following dialogue. Um, I allow you to to um, to take over my body and my mind, and let's see who is stronger. But free this child. Let him be free. This is what she was telling to that entity during that, let's say, meditation. And instead of, let's say, doing this switch or accepting for that entity to fully take control over her, uh, their, let's say, brain activity was stopped in that moment, and they both die. And when their spirit, or I don't know, gets out of the physical body, uh, I see again what she was, I think, describing earlier with the, the interconnection between mental and body with the other baby,
Mm-hmm.
the other scene, the other life. Um, I don't know how to call this brain attack, brain, how it's called
Okay.
in physical.
Let's look um, what was the pattern in the life in the experience on Earth from that life until Lisa's life.
Um, what it comes to me is that she emphasizes, she's a very emphatic with people, but she gets her mind and her energy and, let's say, her soul, her heart over a relationship, over some people, parents, friends, lovers. And if something goes wrong in those relationships with those people, like she sees some kind of danger,
Mm-hmm.
then she wants to mm, take control to protect them, or to not lose them, to take over her whatever might happen to them instead, because at some level she feels very strong
Mm-hmm.
and she prefers that entity, those entities, if it's the case, those energies to come to her, not to the people she loves. This is the pattern in her lives
Mm-hmm.
from that life from China
Mm-hmm.
until now.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow now she's not a healer, let's say, since then, but she has this overprotective sense when it comes to the people she loves.
Mm-hmm. So the feeling that she has to keep everything under control, and she has difficulty on letting people or things go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What?
Because she thinks that the others
Mm-hmm.
don't have enough knowledge, enough energy, courage, uh, wisdom, maybe sometimes, to look after their own life, their own decisions. So sometimes, even if she doesn't um, admit it, she thinks like, oh, I know better what's good for you in that situation.
She knows better. She's stronger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um.
Also, it comes from fear of losing them,
Mm-hmm.
of losing these connections, these relationships, these people. Same like she said. Then I was afraid to lose my parents, to not be with them, to not have the chance again, just in 100 years, to be with them. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to compromise my mind and
Okay.
emotions.
From that fear of losing those
Mm-hmm.
people, she sacrificed herself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sacrifice is also a good term for her condition, her choices.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Also, sacrificing herself is like proving that she is worth their love. She admits it that is not a healthy thinking or mm, way of living, but she recognizes this pattern in herself that many times I sacrificed my well being, my health, um, my knowledge, my emotions, just to keep some people, certain souls in my life.
Okay. Let's.
She says that
Uh-huh.
she wants to break this chain of sacrifices, and she wants to free herself and free the others.
Mm, okay. Does she understand that she don't need to sacrifice herself to be worthy of their love?
She does, and she says this might be the um, greatest lesson of my current life, greatest understanding that a love can be bought, not even earned. You don't earn somebody's love.
Mm-hmm.
You earn somebody's trust, but not love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. The fact that she's afraid of people's judgment, it's also from that.
She says that in her mission or careers of all kind as a healer, she was many times judged because she was not understood, because people were afraid of new techniques.
Mhm.
um, so many times she had to close herself, or she says, not, I didn't use the maximum of my potential and of the things I knew
Mhm.
at that those certain moments, because people were not ready. uh, People could have hurt me more than let me help them. So it was also an internal compromise to keep herself low at some points. And she says it's hard te ascunde, to
To
hide.
hide.
It's hard to hide from people. It's frustrating to have maybe the key for their problems sometimes. She says not always, of course,
Mhm.
and not be able to use it because on the long run it would do more damage to yourself and to innocent people.
Mhm.
Like the example of that boy, she meant well about him, to help him, to take over that. To She says, I wanted to fight this energy, this entity with all my resources, mentally, physically. Um, but it seems I over I underestimated this entity,
Mm. Is
and
that
I overestimated my powers.
is that boy in her life now?
Um, she says it was my father.
It is because of that she felt lost.
Yeah,
She.
because she feels like not having any kind of maybe control. I don't know. She lost connection. Also, the sadness. It's because of this.
Mhm. So, uh, how were their lives together since that moment? Since um
She
that life.
tried to compensate, to repair her mistake
Mhm.
to him, to um, play those roles in his lives, um, to make him, to heal him, to make him be, to forgive her,
Mm.
to make him, why not, proud of her.
Mhm. Because she wanted to be worthy
Yes, yes.
his love. Mhm. Okay. Uh,
So in big lines, she wanted to um, do so as to be forgiven and loved
Mm.
by her father.
Okay. Okay. Before we will call her father, let's we are um, let's return in present where from where I talk now, and I would like Lisa to invite all those entities to who interfere with her energetic field to present themselves in front of her.
There are two. The first one looks like dwarf. You know the word
Mm-hmm,
dwarf.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And the other one is like uh, mm, desincarnated
mm-hmm,
person,
mm-hmm.
but very thin and skeletal.
Okay.
So these two,
Mm-hmm,
mm, I don't know, they are in front of
mm-hmm.
her.
I would like for her to call for the boss
Mm,
of that project.
I think it's an humanoid who takes second by second another face
Uh,
body
Another
image.
image. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Um, Read the etheric DNA.
it's a mix of humanoid and human. Yes,
Mm-hmm,
like almost 50-50,
mm-hmm.
changing, I don't know in what circumstances.
What's his name?
It came to me Alessandro with double S, like in Italian. Alessandro.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh, Let me talk with him.
Sure.
Okay, connect with him. Alessandro,
Yes. What do you want?
what do you think I want?
We are enjoying doing this,
Mm,
walking around with other minds, exploring. We are having fun, aren't you?
mhm. What are you doing with Lisa?
I'm using her.
Uh, for what?
Her aspects from other dimensions that are connected to her aspect from your dimension uh, have variable information and qualities for me
Like
that
what?
I can use as well,
Mm-hmm.
like her healing powers, her ability to connect with people through DNA or through memories that they shared, common lives,
Mm-hmm.
as long as she stays on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I can use her understanding and her knowledge about humans.
Mm-hmm. What for? Why do you need that?
because I can take a lot of energy from you all
Uh,
through your relationships and through your fear and through the fear of losing the people you love. You are so foolish. You stay in relationships that where you suffer just because you don't understand that that is not love. You forget about your own essence, about the truth. You have it right under your nose and you don't use it.
mhm. So, um,
So I take advantage.
mhm. How much of Lisa's energy
More
do you?
than 55%.
Mhm, mhm. Were you involved on that uh, accident she
Yes.
had? Why? Why did you do that?
Just to remind her that she's not in control, to make her more frustrated and more fearful about her own life.
Mhm. When when she broke her ankle, were you there?
I'm everywhere.
You were everywhere.
I don't cause all this myself.
Mhm.
I
Tell me
have
more.
these helpers,
Mhm.
the ones that she was able to see, to
Mhm.
show them to you as dwarf and skeleton.
Mhm. Why do you use that dwarf?
He's like an interface of the the soul of her father that suffered so many times because of her. Well, that's what she thinks. That he suffered because of her. He suffered because of his own uh, lack of courage and other things. But as far as she thinks she's responsible for,
She feel guilty.
of course.
Do you like that?
Did you notice maybe how subtle that energy is in her that she doesn't even feel it?
Mhm.
It's an art to play with your emotions. You are um, a very good case of study, you people and your emotions.
Mhm. Why do you study all this? How?
Because it's interesting, and the more I find ways to control you, the more my power and my ego is fed, is satisfied.
Okay, the ego.
Yes, I do have one, just like you.
Mhm. Okay. Um, I
But my
noticed.
ego is not driven by fear,
Mhm.
like in your case.
Mhm. I noticed that the ego played a role in that first experience for her when she gave control. How? How is that? Tell me more.
I was that entity,
Mm,
and she accepted to play with me. She wanted to be on the same level with me,
mm,
to use her power and defeat me.
Mm.
But
But what?
she got caught in her own emotions, in her own fear.
Mm.
C'est la vie. That's what happens when you get attached to people, to other souls. That's what happens when you forget that people care, people might love you, but in the end, you die with your own emotions, with your own experiences. Doesn't matter if you prove on your worth or not. It's not like at the end of your life you'll have a list with the good things you did and the people whom you helped, and that will get you higher in some kind of hierarchy.
Mm.
No, no, no. At the end of your life, you remain with your fear, with your lack of respect for yourself, with your ego. I know I remained with it many, many times until I decided to not let it control me.
Mm. With how many people you interfere on Earth?
Statistics. Who cares? Why do you care? Do you think it's important?
Just to have an idea about your power and knowledge.
Thousands.
What do you do with all of this energy and information you take from them?
Find more ways to interfere you. Because religion, for example, is not a way anymore. It starts to not be a way. So I have to find other paths.
Mm. So the religion is the old style.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
Hmm?
So, do you know what Lisa will do today?
What? Take her toys and leave?
What do you see? Are you able to see the future?
Did you or did she think about her other aspects with who she is connected? Other aspects from other realities? How will she influence them?
Mm. Tell me more.
Maybe herself from other lives, realities doesn't want her to do this change. It's
Mhm.
not in their advantage.
Okay, but Lisa has free will. Let's see what she wants to do today. Okay? It was a pleasure to talk with you.
I'm sure.
Let me with Andrea.
Bluffing, or how do you call it when you play cards? Because right after he said that, he uh, realized she wouldn't fall into that trap. Like
Mhm.
believing that whatever she does here can badly influence her other lives or aspects in
Mhm.
other real
Mhm.
dimensions.
He tried to create something. Okay. Uh, Tell me if Lisa heard everything I talked with that humanoid.
Yes, she says I find him very familiar.
Mhm.
Like part of my thoughts or
Mm-hmm.
um, where he is or the other way around.
Mm-hmm. She spent a lot of time with him.
So
Okay.
yeah, so somehow their
Mm-hmm.
mentality mixed.
Mm-hmm.
She says that she wants to call her father to connect. She wants to try to connect with the soul of her father
Okay.
before
L-
I don't know,
mhm.
doing other
Make
things.
okay. Well, that will be interesting.
It's that entity that appears as a skeleton,
Okay.
but in the same time is the dwarf. So
Mm-hmm. Is that what I wanted to
mm-hmm,
see? He's like an interface of his father. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's splitting somehow between this. I don't know how. At this point I don't understand from what point of view, but he's as a soul or as a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mind,
Mm-hmm.
emotions. It's split between these two forms of life, two entities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, ask Lisa.
She said, oh, sorry to
Mm-hmm.
interrupt you. She said that I will ask him from heart to heart to take the image that I of how I remember him.
Okay.
He did that, and I feel them connecting, and they're getting emotional. They're, I don't know, both crying,
Mm-hmm.
and
Lisa.
she asks for forgiveness.
Okay. Okay. What's happened when she asked for forgiveness?
Those forms, those two entities, which was just one, it
Mm-hmm.
was just him, um, melt, transform, and it looks just like a kind of cloud with undefined shape and a shade of gray. Um, she's sending a lot of light, of love through this to him, and this gray cloud starts to get light, more
Get
luminous.
lighter,
Mm, I think that's the word. More, yeah, more luminous, more brighter.
brighter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she he tells her, I forgive you because I forgive myself.
Great. Um, she said she has difficulty in letting people go. That she kept him here after he died.
She says, true love resides in the heart, so in our souls, and one soul cannot be separated from another, no matter what. We will always be together, that I know and understand, and remind myself that he is with me and I am with him, and I don't have to have any control over him or over this relationship, because I'm not afraid of losing him, because I know that if I want and if he wants, we can be together in physical bodies also or not. Actually, she says, it's not mandatory to be together um, while we are in physical bodies, that we can connect as mind, as consciousness easily at any time in any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can feel my body lighter.
Yeah.
I don't feel the heaviness from the start when
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you found me in that mm, rain of flowers. I know that the protection, the joy, and the love are with me, are within me,
Mm-hmm.
and that I don't have to do something special. And for sure, I should remind myself the rest of my life that I don't have to make compromises for love to keep, to obtain, keep the love of others.
Okay.
Mm, that cloud
Mm-hmm.
takes again the image of her father just for her sake, so
Mm-hmm.
they can hug each other, embrace, and
Does her father has a message for her?
thank you for letting me go, and taking thank you for in fact keeping me in your heart. You are the the most brave, the most strong, the strongest, the most brightest soul that I know, and that's how I will remember you, and that's how I feel you, no matter where I am or where you are. And please take care of your heart, take care of your relationships, but not by control, but by courage and by self esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Respect yourself as human, respect yourself as soul, and respect the others for what they are, with or without you. I love you, and she, he is somehow ready
Mm-hmm.
to leave.
Okay. Tell Lisa to open him a portal to a higher frequency than he is now.
She says, and I see as well that is not necessarily because he can do it and he does it himself.
Mm-hmm. Does he know that he has to um, go out from anything that is organic or unorganic on Earth?
He knows and he does it. He says, I do this for my aspect, for who I was in this life,
Mm-hmm.
because my other parallel lives
Mm-hmm.
is not my. Yeah,
Okay.
he does it.
From where he
Uh, uh, he says from where I lived my past years, last
Mm-hmm.
years of
Mm-hmm.
life, and otherwise from around her energetic field, but
Okay.
not other.
Okay. Okay. Tell Lisa to say goodbye to her father.
Yeah, they said goodbye to each other. He left.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, does Lisa, does she still want to stay with that entity now?
No, but she wants to connect to. Mm, she calls it his playground, like an energetic field where she has this technology somehow. I
Mm-hmm.
think she wants to go there. She feels she has to go there before she disconnects completely
Mm,
from him.
okay. Let's go there. Tell me, what do you see?
So at first I see I don't know the word. They're big mm, vessels of glass in which cylindrics,
Like
cy-
cylinder, caps.
yeah, in which there are kept embryons.
When was the last time she was there?
Yeah, when she was forming in her mother's when she was in her mother's
Okay.
this life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's when she last was there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
She wants to take back DNA print, I think,
mm-hmm.
something sample, DNA sample from this place of her own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How is her DNA in this moment? Etherical DNA.
19% humano interest is human.
Mm-hmm.
She says that she will take also her mother's sample. Possible that
Mm.
to
Is
take for
is
somebody else.
is her mother who has to do that? Tell her to call her mother to give her all the information she
Mm,
has.
um, she did um, give her the information. She came in contact again in this session, but she says she said, "Oh, it's more complicated in her case. I think she has to do a process
Okay.
more ways. So
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So
she
she only
acknowledges that she can't
okay.
take her
She
out.
only give her information.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell me what Lisa will do.
I say like it's in real time, taking a sample on it looks like a piece of glass with it looks like blood, but I don't know, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
blood, I think. She takes it and she makes like how it's called, energetic field around him and sends it somewhere. She says in my personal goods bank for goods. You know how we keep our money in somewhere in a bank? She sent it there, somewhere to be, she says, safe,
Mm.
not in their power control.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, there is another way to do that. Um, but if we are here,
Mhm.
tell me where is this laboratory?
The fun part is that it's on Earth,
Where on earth?
somewhere in China. My, uh, I don't know if it's in Beijing or close to it,
Mhm.
somewhere there in a laboratory.
What is um, in this laboratory?
How it's called when you can't have babies and you use
Uh,
artificial. Hmm I
fertilization
think it's
clinic.
some kind of, yes. For sure, it's used in for this purpose. And
So her DNA was used there.
mhm.
Hmm.
And this laboratory from Mars has
Hmm.
a correspondent in the fourth dimension. It's a field between two uh, planets. So I see two planets bigger than Earth size, and a channel, a path between them. And there is this laboratory. Terror.
Hmm. Okay. There is another way to do that. I Let's come um, on present,
Okay.
here and now, and uh, I want her to um, decide what she will do with that entity, what she will do with that interference. Now,
Let she says to let him out of my mind and my soul.
okay, let him out of her mind and her soul. And when she take that decision,
She sees and feels her energetic body, ethereal and energetic body, splitting, separating from his. So her whole energetic body completely separates from his.
mhm,
And now she says, it's like I can feel myself again, but really myself, not some kind of hologram or like lying to myself. Or
mhm,
and she remembers the scene with the mirrors where I couldn't. Everything
mhm,
was so
mhm,
bright and was impossible to see herself or me to observe her. And she says it was because of his energetic field that was interfering her with hers. Mm, she says, I don't feel him. I don't feel his emotions or his control or his influence,
Mm-hmm.
I still have the information, the knowledge,
Okay,
that
of the
she
that experience.
obtained,
Mm-hmm.
yes, together with him,
Okay,
but not emotionally and energetically.
okay. Mm-hmm. Now I want her to verify if she is still connected to that laboratory after she took that decision.
She says physically on Earth, her sample is still in that laboratory
Mm-hmm.
in China,
Mm-hmm.
but the correspondent in the first dimension or the ethereal field, not anymore. That's what she knows, she says.
In how is her DNA now?
Hers is 100% human.
Mm-hmm.
She has another mm, life in China where um she's a mix of human and humanoid. So she did influence another aspect of hers in another life, parallel life. Like that aspect had more percentage of humanoid. Let's say at the beginning of the session, and now only has almost 10%. But and that's why she saw her sample there in China, so easy still. But her aspect, Lisa, is 100%
So
um,
is
human
one. Mm-hmm.
because
So
she decided for this life, this aspect, this. mm,
okay.
yeah.
That aspect has all the information now.
Mm, I don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Has some information, but I don't know if all.
Mm-hmm. Ask Lisa
But
if she can send her information, if she can give her information to that aspect of her.
how she can, by intention, she can send, let's say, this
Okay.
piece of information.
And that aspect has free will. So,
Yeah, if we observe a bit what happens, it's like he's getting the information now, but will make the connection and the understandings in few years and maybe some changes. That's what we can access and we can see.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me if you can scan her body now.
Yes, I can. I see, but around her neck, not on skin, just like a ring of gray energy. It's not an implant, it's just energy
Mm-hmm.
shaped like a ring. She uses energy from her heart to clean. That's the term she uses, to clean my emotional and mental body, so not just that ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like scanning herself with her own energy from the heart, from down to up, few times actually. Mm, like you have a baguette and you use it on yourself. Mm, as for implants, I don't see any. No.
Is there any fear, any anger, any sadness in her body?
She says no, Lisa doesn't have them. If other aspects of me in other parallel lives or experiences, I have this kind of emotions. I choose to not connect to them. I choose from now on to have my own experience without taking from other aspects of mine or from other souls their emotions. I can empathize with them. I can understand them, be patient, be understanding, yes. But I've learned my lesson to not um, place myself above others, not just mentally, like some kind of superiority, but I will try to use what I have or what I know first on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can be maybe a model, maybe I can show to others what helped me, and they can decide if they can use the same, let's say, technique or way of thinking, way of um, living their life. Otherwise, it's a waste of energy and inner resources to live, decide for others what's best for others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the fact that she always knew what is best for others is changed now.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She says also, I understand that this need of protecting others so I can feel protected. So it's an illusion. Mm, protection comes just when you are um, giving yourself forgiveness, understanding, and love. You don't give them to others, you give them to yourself, and from what you became, from what you are in those conditions when you forgive, love, understand yourself, that's how you offer love. Mm, being well, you give good energy and to others also by design, by naturally.
Does she still think that she knows better? She is more capable to do
No,
things
no.
than other
Now
for
she
themselves?
says, I understand that every person has its own um, abilities, qualities that he can know, understand, and use or not. So what makes me mm, mm, I have some kind of qualities and the other maybe doesn't have it, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have what he needs for himself for that life. So I'm nobody to decide what's better for another person in a certain circumstance.
Mm.
I remembered this now.
Why
Um,
she was afraid to feel?
she says, I think it's like a paradox or bad understanding. I was not afraid to feel, I was afraid to not feel, to lose my senses, to lose my emotions, to lose my connection, my relationships. Of that, I was in fact afraid. This perception or understanding that I was afraid of feeling was just like a mask, like a hiding or running from myself,
Okay.
afraid of suffering also.
Mhm. Talking about relationship, how is her relationship with her mother?
Tensionate, constrained. She says, I think a bit better because I understood I don't need, and in fact, I don't have control over her. I don't need it. So just like I let go of my father, I can let go of her too. Like in not judging her. So she says, what I ask for and expect from others, I should do it myself. Because even if I'm not aware of it, sometimes I do judge other people as well as my mother.
Is,
And
is there anything she can um, change now in this relationship?
she says to her, like she were, but I think she is somehow in front of her, that I ask her to forgive me for what I did wrong to you, for the moments when I judged you in this life and in others. That's what she feels like changing.
Why did she choose um, her as mother?
Um, Same reason, because they were like with her father, they were very close in other, let's say before their shift, before that
Mm-hmm.
entity interfering with her, with them. Um, so she wanted to compensate, to repair whatever she considered she did wrong to them.
Okay.
So she gave herself a chance to be with them because she genuinely loves them as souls, and but also to repair her mistakes to them.
Does she still consider that there were mistakes?
She says there were actions
Mm.
that caused misunderstandings between us, some bad events. So she says it doesn't matter how we call them. There, it caused us some neplăceri,
Mhm.
bad memories,
Unpleasant.
unpleasant events. Yes,
Okay.
but she says we are more than this life. I understand now that I'm more than Lisa. Our relationship with my mother, for example, is more than this uh, piece that I'm aware of, meaning these years together in this life. And she wants to expand, let's say, her consciousness and understanding about this relationship and about other relationships and other experiences of hers. She doesn't want to remain limited um, in this relationship, meaning in just these memories of this life.
Mhm. Okay.
Mm.
Um.
She says we are free by design to choose how to manage our relationships, our connections with other souls. And we don't have like a depth. In fact, this is just our mind. Depths are just a mental program
Mhm.
that we have depths towards to somebody.
Mhm.
Like he did something very good for me, and I have to somehow, no matter how, whatever she or he wants, I will do for him. I will sacrifice for him. Um, it's no need to remain in this mental program that we have depths towards other souls.
Mm. Okay. Does she want now to verify her relationship with M?
Yes,
Does she want to call
for
him?
him. Yes.
Identify him?
He presented himself with a bouquet of red roses, smiling to her. She's told him, "I only need one." It's like I. She, that's how I hear her saying, "I don't need all this kind of proofs or attentions. Just need one thing, and that's you being honest with me, to me." That's what she asked to him, to be honest with her no matter what. Because now she says to him, "Don't worry, now I know better, now I understand better, now I'm not afraid anymore. So I can take the truth, whatever that is. And I don't demand this from you. I'm just telling you what I would like from you. To be honest, to be open."
Why? Um why they are together in this life? Why did they meet in this life?
She says it was his desire most of all, or first of all, and I accept it. For me, we met before, like before this, mm, uh, these lives with this um, entity, with that Alessandro humanoid, and so she knows him from other experiences, but now it's like the first time when they met again after a break.
How does she see their relationship in the future? How does she see that relationship from that point, from this point?
From this point, she says, because of my new understanding and way of feeling, and being honest with myself and with others, so with him, others, so with him also, it's like starting from zero, from scratch. From she says, I'm very open to make this relationship work. I desire this. I like him. I admire him. So it's like I'm giving myself a chance and him a chance, but for real, not just verbally, not just says a chance from my heart.
Okay. Is there anything they?
So she says, to complete the answer to your question, it depends on him, on how honest and yes, she says it's very important for me that I feel him honest. Depending on that, our relationship can blossom or not.
Okay. Okay. Uh,
Otherwise, she says that she doesn't feel like some kind of bad energies around him or in their relationship, or for sure she doesn't feel like she owns him something, which she says it's a bit new for me, this understanding, this feeling, of which mm, I'm happy about this feeling of
okay.
freedom. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Okay. Uh, she's ready to tell him goodbye
Yes.
this
Yeah.
moment. Okay. Does she want now to verify her relationship with Maha?
Yes.
Tell her to invite Maha.
They are in a. I don't find the word. They're on a field with trees in a sunny day. Mm, they are they appear like they're younger versions of this
Mm-hmm.
life,
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing together. And it's Maha who is saying this, that it's our versions
Mm-hmm.
from another reality. And she says to uh, Maha says to Lisa, and remember that we made like a pact, like sister, let's say, like friends, to bring the best of ourselves in this life too. like joy, friendship, helping each other, um, but also our own qualities. And we are like a mirror to each other with the good and the less good. Mm, I feel Lisa happy, mm, peaceful around Maha. Like there is a connection. They resemble, and that's why this connection. It's a mix of kindness, peaceful state of mind of being. That's what brings them together in this life because it's like Maha said, like a pact they made to have a relationship that allows them to like mirror each other and remind each other of their kindness, kind souls.
Is there necessary to have such a pact or just
It's a
do
lot
those
to
things?
to be said back to.
Hmm.
I
They
don't know.
decided together to.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. There is not something behind that pact, like agreement or clauses or.
mhm. Okay. Um, so how many lives they had together on Earth?
No, I think both have the same number, 67. It's like they are both aware of these 67 experiences, lives on Earth
Hmm. How were
together.
how were those experiences together?
Maha was a protector for uh, for Lisa. She was her mother in many lives, and at some point, from a high understanding, high level of consciousness, and because of loving her, she decided to not play this kind of very important roles like mother, daughter, or
Hmm.
I don't know, but to be not in the shadow, but to be aside and let Lisa have experiences where maybe she felt unprotected, but it was the right way to realize to come back to her inner power and that she can protect herself. You know, when you say if you love somebody, let him go.
Hmm.
Maha did something like this for
Okay.
Lisa.
She's not her mother in this life, but she's her friend.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so she remains in her life, but not first row, not in front. In order to allow Lisa to have those experiences that will get her in the same point where she reconnects with her um, self esteem, with her power, with her strength,
Okay.
and Maha says with uh, self love.
Hmm. Okay. Does Maha has a message for her?
I had faith in you, and I knew that you will come back to yourself, to being yourself kind and beautiful soul. Lisa thanks her for everything, and she says she's grateful for having her in her life
Okay.
and actually in her experiences,
Okay.
not just this one. Mm, that's it.
We may say goodbye to each other from this
Same.
scene. Tell me one mahale.
Yeah.
Okay, how does she feel now?
She says it's like I um, met so many people or mm, or accessed so many lives, even if we didn't go in each of them. But it's like me going through many of my lives and many of my relationships in such a short time. And maybe if I would close my eyes and just start to write, I would tell out of nowhere. I would write out of nowhere stories of my own. Mm, but I know that I connected just or exactly with those aspects that I needed to at this stage, this life. And I thank myself for making this step. I thank you. I thank Maha. And it feels right. I feel right inside myself, or to say so, with myself. I feel in the right place, moment, and circumstance, and in the right understanding for the present moment, which is a big deal to say so. It's a big thing. So I feel first of all thankful, then peaceful, and um, I have faith that my life will improve because my heart is more open and my mind more clear. No.
Okay. How is her vibration now? From on a scale from 0 to 10,000, let's say.
4,000.
Uh, what this level means in her emotional body.
She says what I said earlier was the thankfulness. She's
Yeah.
thankful, peace, and faith. Faith in herself and in life.
Mhm. Okay. Does she want to um, access other information in this session?
No, she says, I feel myself from so many places and times. I feel the information inside me, and I know that I can access it with a bit of patience, focus, and trust in myself. I can access it exactly when I need it. Right now, I feel satisfied. I feel okay with what we exist.
Okay. Um, Let me talk with her from her higher self level. Is it okay?
Sure.
Connect.
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm fine. How do you uh, perceive this process that Lisa done today?
I I did it with her in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I heard her. I knew it. I felt it. I re-experienced it with her, for her. So for me, it's like a memory, maybe. Maybe it's like what you call memories.
Mm. What was that point where Lisa called for help? Where was that point?
She called for help in many points
Mm-hmm. Because she said she didn't remember to call us from Lisa's life.
because she called through uh, uh, Maha was her mm, intermediary, her messenger, her.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she was confused. So
Okay.
it was her, it was she who called, but it was Maha who brought the message, who opened the path.
Okay. Okay. Do you have a message for her, for her conscious part?
I give her messages all the time. I gave her messages the entire um, session. I give her messages when she sleeps. Um, if she ever, maybe this is a message, if she ever has doubts over the entities she connects with, or the entities who try to connect with her, being maybe other aspects of herself, or maybe other souls, other people from other lives. And if she doesn't know if they are the right ones, the real ones, then I tell her mm, to try to see how she feels around them. If she feels constrained and any kind of fear or anxiety, then they are not who they are supposed to be. But sometimes some people, some souls are mm, being held um, in some energetic fields, or interfered by some entities. So she just has to be brave And her intention has to be the following: what kind of help does this soul want from me? What do I have to give from myself? Energy, information, or what? Do I have to sacrifice something? If the answer is yes, I have to sacrifice or make a compromise, then she has to stop herself from trying to help that soul, because that soul will help himself or she will help him in another way, in another time, in another space. So my main message to her is don't make compromises. Don't sacrifice yourself, your energy, your kindness for others. So sad, well-being. So what I told you before, what you understood by your own, it's real. You can be of use to other souls without sacrificing your principles, your mm, energy. Just be in connection with yourself. Stay in connection with your heart. And so, if you stay in connection with your heart, then you can make the difference between those whom you can really help, those who are not um, asking you for help with good intention because they really need it and because they don't want something from you. They just want to push a little mm, mm, an, an energy of they want love, they want attention, but they won't take something from you in exchange. And I am with you even when you are not with yourself. But you are the one who is making that experience as Lisa, not me. I respect that. It's your gift. It's your chance, so take it. Take advantage of it fully. It's your choice.
Okay. Thank you for your
Thank
help.
you. Thank you all for being you yourselves.
Okay. Andrea, the connect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you see Lisa now?
She's I don't find a word. Not emotional. She's happy that she heard her higher self, and she said yes, that I heard myself from another level. Um, I feel. She says that she feels herself mm, worth worth of living, worth of experiences in general on Earth or elsewhere by design, by just being.
Okay. Is she ready to stop this session? Are we done for now?
She says yes.
Okay.
Definitely yes.
Ask her to open herself a portal at optimal frequencies. And you do the same, Andrea. Tell me when she's gone.
Yes, she is.
Okay. Now I will count from 1 to 5. And you will be present again. 1. Your body starts to feel lighter and lighter. 2. You can feel peace and joy all over your body. 3. You raise your vibrations at ideal frequencies, and you can feel your body full of energy. 4. You feel free and powerful. And 5. You are here and now. How do you feel, Andrea?
Good.
Good. Lisa, you can activate your microphone. Lisa, tell me, how do you feel now?
Um, good. a lot of information. Um, a little bit headache.
It was a complex process.
Mm,
Tell me, except of that headache, did you
yeah,
feel something else during the session?
pain in my back,
Okay. Do you still
the
feel it now?
lower back. Very strange.
Okay. Do you still feel this pain now?
No, I'm
Oh,
okay now.
okay. Now you are okay. Um, you have to give yourself some time to assimilate informations, and it is possible that you can feel some changes right away, or tomorrow, or 1 month, 3 month. Is different from person to person.
Mhm.
Um, and give us a feedback about how do you feel,
Okay.
and about changes in your life. And tell me if you want to publish this session.
It's okay, but if you can make the face blur,
Cover.
Blurred?
cover.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. And I will close, stop here the record, and please stay online after this. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Maha. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank
Thank,
you. Thank you both of you. Yes.
thank you,
Thank you.
Andrea. Have a good evening.
You too.
Good
Goodbye.
evening.